Does everybody know what time it is?
Home Impodcast time!
That's right, Binford Tools is proud to present the Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam, and you all know my co-host, Jordan. Hey, Jordan, how you doing, pal?
Hey, Adam. So good to speak with you. I'm glad to hear you're back safely from your excursion to Europe, where you were doing, no doubt, like, Home Impodcast, you know, you're just disseminating the information over the pond.
Grassroots effort. I was on the ground, and I was getting the word out to, you know, the folks in London. And
I hope you kept your receipts.
Yeah, I'm going to expense it to you. You didn't get my expense report?
Not yet, but I'll follow up after this call. So,
Jordan, we talked about this before the show, but I'll say it to the listeners. I'm not feeling so well.
No.
So if I sound like a dumpster fire, it's because I don't feel that well. But,
I think you sound a little extra sexy. You got a little bit of a raspy voice going on.
A little croaky, yeah. Sounds great. Well, I do hate the sound of my voice, so maybe this will improve things. But
yeah.
Well, we're gonna make the best of it today, Jordan.
We are. Often I find myself after these conversations bowled over by you. And speaking of bowling...
Oh, Lord. Oh, good. I was wondering where you go with that. Oh, yeah, we were going to talk about this. We both went bowling relatively recently, which was not planned.
No.
And we have a reoccurring thread on the podcast where we talk about bowling.
If you haven't heard it before, go back to episode 2.
Early on in the show, we wanted to do a couple things. We wanted to talk about home improvement, and we also wanted to kind of talk about bowling every once in a while. So this is another example of that. We should create a bowling jingle. I know what I'm going to do the rest of the day.
Yeah, you need something to do. So,
all right, yeah, man. So we both went bowling, and I'll let you go first because you seem kind of cocksure, a little proud of yourself. So I'm assuming you scored okay.
No, I want to preface this by saying I realize I'm terrible at bowling, but I felt my ego hurt a few weeks ago when you were talking about, not so much the kind of jokes that I would do in the bowling alley. Those were funny and still kind of hold up.
I wonder if you did them this last time you went bowling, even though you have a wife, so you don't need to show off in front of women anymore. I wonder if you could help yourself.
Yeah, I held it down a little bit, okay. But, we went early, so there wasn't that many people at the bowling alley, so I didn't really have to show off. But,
okay.
You talked about how I would bowl like a 50 or something like that.
Yeah, 50, 60, 70, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing, you weren't present at the bowling alley, but the amount of times I mentioned you at that bowling alley, just the bitterness in my voice. We played 3 games.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot
3 games. My arm was a little sore afterwards, and it took about a day to recover. But
yeah, no sore than usual with that.
But I did break 100 twice out of those 3 games.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I felt pretty good. The first 2 throws, I threw it right in the gutter. I was like, "Uh-oh, I need to warm up a little bit." And then later that game, I had 4 straight spares and a strike.
That's crazy. Good on you, man. I got a follow-up question though.
Yeah.
So you bowled 100 a couple times. How many times did you do air guitar riffs?
Well, it's hard to count a number that high.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's one of those things where you need to have someone doing that separately. I couldn't bowl amazingly and then count my air guitars at the same time.
This is true. Well,
how was your trip? Set the mood for me. When did you go? You told me it was a little bit worse than usual, but still better than me.
Yeah. When did I go? A couple weeks ago, before I went to London. Yeah, it was okay. I didn't really have it that night. I think we bowled 2 games, and I think I got a 120 and a 130, 140. So, I think my high is a 220 or something. So it wasn't great, but sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes the pins just don't fall. And this was one of those evenings, unfortunately. So.
Well, there's nowhere to go but up from that.
That's
except for if you're listening to the rest of this episode, it's not going to go up.
No, it's going to, actually, I think what I have to say next is probably better than what we just said, so I might go.
All right. Surprise.
So, Jordan, I gotta say, that conversation was a real spare, but this next conversation is going to be
Let's strike it from the podcast.
Yeah, let's try. That's good, yeah. Real 7-10 split. I have an article here, Jordan. I was reading one of my favorite websites, and that's countryliving.com.
Oh, yeah, you're always talking about countryliving.com.
Yeah, it's my homepage. And article title, Eagle-eyed fans call out Tim Allen for this last man standing photo. Lead or subcaption, their reactions are too good. Crying face emoji.
Oh my gosh. That's like clickbait if I've ever seen it.
It's pretty good.
I heard it.
So basically, and I had seen this photo, but Tim posted a tweet on, must have been February 27th, exactly 12:51 p.m. And it says, having some breakfast in the morning read for LMS, and just noticed this sign. And it's like a congratulations, last man standing, 150 episodes. But in the photo, he's holding up like a cup of his breakfast, and it's not very appealing. So people had things to say, Jordan.
Oh my gosh. What'd they have to say, Adam?
I'm going to give you some responses here. At Mini Id said, leave the mush out of the photo next time. Bacon would always be better. Sorry, your laugh must have cut out there.
Why don't you try it again? Maybe I'll...
The next response was from at Bob Simcara. Ew, what are you eating? It looks like the pre-chewed steak they give out at nursing homes, LOL. Congratulations, by the way.
What? That's a real backhanded compliment, I'd have to say.
Yeah, seriously. At Wells said, is that oatmeal? Tongue sticking out emoji? I think it is oatmeal. That's my best guess. Couple more.
Yeah, let's do more. Do more of this, please.
Okay. At Ish P2. Okay, Tim, what have you been putting in your Wheaties? Hey, Chad, didn't we already know this? What's that mean? Who's Chad?
Who's Chad, and what does that mean?
Hanging Chad.
Yeah, that's got to be you're going to have to do some follow-up research on that when we get out to Twitter.
There's only 5 more, okay?
Okay, good.
At C-Bomb Guard Nerva. I like a hot breakfast too, but I prefer a homemade buttermilk biscuit with a piece of Jimmy Dean sausage, scrambled eggs, and hash browns. Gotta mean hash. Keep up the good work at LMS. It is always a pleasure to watch the show.
Hey, that guy seems like a genuine nice guy, and he's eating good, so...
At Sion F. Sion? I don't know.
Sion, both.
You should have asked someone to take your picture next to it. LOL.
Good point, Sean. Son.
One
more, maybe?
No, that was all.
All right, good. Wow. I'm just shocked by how people can turn something into an article.
Yeah, isn't that something? Content, baby.
Jeez. How many people clicked on that? I don't know. But, countryliving.com, Adam's favorite website, putting out great content like that.
I want to know who wrote this article.
You better shout him out.
Megan Stein. Megan, you poor girl.
She likes to go by Meg, though.
Is that right?
That's what I heard.
Okay, man.
You won't believe what this writer likes to go by.
She's a senior... Her nicknames are too crazy. Megan Stein is a senior editor. She's a senior editor, and she's writing articles like that. What a bummer.
She outsourced that one to some foreign place, I think.
Yeah, she likes the voice. Okay, you know what? We're not here to talk about that. But, yeah, you should look at the breakfast and let me know what you think. I think it's pretty much obviously oatmeal, but...
As someone who eats oatmeal every day for breakfast, I could probably recognize it.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
If that's what you want me to do, I can do that. I'm kind of an expert.
Yeah, let's circle back on this next week, which means let's never talk about it again. What are we covering this week, Jordan?
This week, episode 125. Where's our banner?
Wow. Crazy. 125. We did it. We're done.
Oh, I wish.
That was it.
Alarmed by burglars.
Yeah.
I'm alarmed. And this one was written by Charlie Hauck? H-A-U-C-K. I don't know.
H-A-U-C-K. Hawk.
All right, Charlie Hauck.
Mm-hmm.
7 episodes Charlie's going to write, and this is the first. So get ready for 6 more of these humdingers.
He likes his montage, I'll tell you that much.
I'll take another, please. Aired on May 14th, 1996. Getting down to the very end of the season here.
So 9 days after the cast Cinco de Mayo party.
Absolutely.
That's what you're telling me.
That explains why everyone's very confused all the time.
That's true. Yeah.
I've got 4 very terrible, awful alternative titles. How many do you have?
I thought I had 4, but now I can only see...
Well, it's because you're sick and you're a little blurry-eyed.
Yeah,
so.
a little blurry. I guess I have 4, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go first.
Sure.
I'm going to lead off with... I know that Friday the 13th is like a very, very favorite franchise of yours, so I took a little bit of inspiration from that.
Good.
Jason Takes the Tailors.
I'd try to do something with that. I couldn't. Because I think I did a Jason one last time. I didn't want to copy it. That's a good one, Jordan.
Thanks.
Here's my first one. Cheaters never prosper.
Ooh, I've got a phrase just like that. Okay. Be careful what you wish for.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, Jill wishes for something.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Mucus cup runneth over.
I like that one. Neighborhood botch.
Yeah, that's a good one. 2 more. Alliterative. Yeah. Danger in Detroit.
Oh, man. When I was growing up, my brother was on a basketball team full of Davison people, and their name was the Dangerous D's.
Oh, man.
They had sweet jerseys and everything.
I bet.
So that's what I always think of with the word dangerous. All right.
Always?
Always. Every single time. All right. So my last one. You've heard of Simply Safe? It's on all podcasts everywhere.
Yeah.
Tim, in this episode, installs CompliSafe.
CompliSafe?
Yeah, it's complicated.
I don't know, man. I'd probably take it in a different direction, but it's not bad. I mean, my last one is a little dirty, so sorry to all you kiddies out there.
Oh, man.
I don't think you'll have to bleep it out, but
right.
You're going to make the choice. It's a lot. This is a lot of preamble for something that's not that good. Okay, here it is, Jordan. The burglar boner. The sexuality in this episode is confusing to me.
Well, let's talk about how confusing it is then. All right, let's just go ahead and start.
Yeah, let's do it.
We open at home. Tim is installing a new vacuum exhaust hood over the cooking area. It's got 10 horsepower, so it's a little juiced. Jill's reaction, as you can imagine, take it down. She asks for something small, and this is what she gets. It basically takes up the whole set. That's what it looks like to me. And there's some jokes about, would you rather have stinky air? And Jill says, I'm used to having that in the bedroom. Good old flatulence jokes,
Yeah, you probably like that.
Ha ha ha. Tim tests it out after she departs, and the spaghetti flies from the pan up into the ceiling. And we're going to see it a little bit later as well.
I've heard of al dente, but I haven't heard of airborne. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, what a start.
Oh, no. I wounded myself. All right. Yeah, it's fine. Good opener.
Great opener. At home later?
Sure, yeah.
Brad's working on homework, and then we get the best thing ever, and that's Jason's back in town. Jason's back in town. There's a big party at Lisa Belden's on Saturday, and Brad has to come. Brad says, no, I've got to study, which I'm like, yeah, where's this guy coming from?
Yeah, since when?
Yeah, Brad takes a real different character arc in this episode.
It's very strange.
Jason says, don't worry, I can get you a copy of the test ahead of time. And don't worry about your parents, they'll never find out. Mm-hmm. Tim comes in, we get some more spaghetti. It was across the street, so this exhaust fan, man, it's just going everywhere. I'm exhausted just talking about it.
Agreed, man.
Jason, he kind of pulls the old tricks that we saw last time he was on the show. Mm-hmm. He butters up Tim. And Tim initially is kind of upset because he remembers what Jason did as far as throwing that party. Yeah. And he kind of rolls over pretty quick. Jason says, I came to see you. I need advice on power tools. And Jason, he can kind of walk the walk on power tools here. He talks about buying.
He does his research. You got to give Jason that. I mean, he's not a great guy, but he doesn't. Well, for lack of a better term, he doesn't half-ass things. You know, he knows what he's talking about, except for later when he doesn't know what he's talking about or remember what he's previously said. But in this scene, Jason brings it.
Yeah, 7/8 inch circular saw. That's what it was, or 7/8 inch. I don't know what I'm talking about there.
Either one is good.
Yeah. That's what he wants. He gets some suggestions from Tim. That's all Tim needs to be convinced. Jason leaves through the side yard. Kind of a weird move, but
I noticed that too. Yeah, it did kind of stand out. But I guess it's just like Jason lives kind of an alternative lifestyle, so he's not going to do things the traditional way.
Instead, what they're really doing is they just want you to look at Wilson's house because you see some cop lights. The Popos are there, and they go outside to investigate what's happening.
Indeed. I was a little worried this was Jason's final episode, but he's back for 2 more after this. So,
I mean, what else is he going to do?
We've talked about what he went on to do. He's been kind of successful, but at this point, I guess nothing else. I like Jason.
Jason took the Taylors in this episode.
Sort of not. All right, I guess I got it. Jordan, I'll take a scene here. Tim heads out in the side yard. Wilson reveals that he's been burgled. It was scary. Yeah, he's shaken up, but there's an officer there named Guidry. Jordan, Officer Guidry, who's played by Michael Milhone.
And this is kind of the hard-hitting research that you only get on Home Impodcast.
You want to know a little bit more about this guy?
I've been waiting literally since I first started watching this episode to get more about this guy. So,
all right, he was born in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Wow.
Best known for Field of Dreams, She's All That, Executive Decision, Crimson Tide. I watched Crimson Tide like 3 months ago. It was pretty good. 79 credits to his name. He's in something called Noxious. He's playing CEO Gaylord Johnson. Prior to that, about 10 years ago, he was in Grey's Anatomy, CSI, all those kind of shows, 8 Simple Rules. But this guy, he's done some things. I mean, She's All That, one of my favorite 1999 movies.
You could have just stopped there.
I could have and should have. This guy doesn't have much to do in this episode, but we want to celebrate him nonetheless. We get a little bit of humor here about Wilson's possessions that went missing, his quote-unquote valued possessions, and they're about as quirky as you would guess. I don't remember what the first 2
Cheek
were.
extenders.
Okay, wow. It ends in an African mucus cup, and the cop who's this Guidry guy, who's, I don't know what accent he's doing. It's like New York, Chicago. He's like, how am I supposed to write up a report on this? You're in Royal Oak, man. I mean, that's a good question. How is he supposed to write up a report? But we head into the next scene.
Yeah, Wilson just suggests basically 6 goats and a virgin. That's about what they're worth in Africa. So
yeah, that was really funny.
Hilarious. At the hardware store.
Wow, Harry's Hardware.
We've got the usual suspects, and Tim shares the news. Al, I don't know what we're supposed to think about Al knowing so much about mucus cups and Wilson's stuff, but Al is worried about the mucus cup. Al knows an awful lot about it. Tim and Marty become suspicious of Al, and then they all kind of talk about, do you have a security system?
Yeah.
And Tim says, no, I don't. Benny has one, and his security system is that he owns nothing. Harry also has one, and his security system is Dolores. She'll scream at anybody who tries to...
Harry's a confusing guy,
Yeah.
He's a real paradox.
Does he want Dolores? Does he not want Dolores?
I don't know. I mean, I remember when Harry kept Dolores, but I don't know. This seems like a whole new ball game.
It does.
Also, Dolores, they see Dolores without her makeup on, they're going to run away. Dolores is not that ugly.
Yeah, I gotta say,
regular.
Harry, if that's your security system, you're in for a
You about
real
to get
surprise.
burgled, bro.
To get burgled, bro. Tim does not have one either. And right when they said that, I was like, oh, here comes a Tool Time special, and we'll get that later. But Harry's excited because that means he's about to make a lot of money. Yeah. And, when they talk about Tim Taylor being not middle class, this is probably what they were talking about.
Sure,
they bring out, everything. He wants to buy, 40 cameras.
He's buying 144 of something, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a lot going around. Everyone is basically kind of piled in for Harry here.
Why are they so excited about
stuff.
This? They're really excited.
I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But Tim remembers the hood debacle that we had earlier in this episode, and he says, maybe I should just go basic. And they laugh him off, even though he's being serious.
Yeah.
And then they do this thing where they, like, pan to each person, and they all make a joke.
Oh, my gosh. Which one was your favorite?
You know, I only watched it once, and they weren't funny enough to leave an impression, except...
All right. You got Babe Ruth bunting.
Okay, yep.
The one that didn't make sense to me was when Marty said it's like Raquel Welch wearing a parka. Raquel Welch at this point is like, 1996, she's like 50, 60 something, but maybe he's talking about Raquel Welch when he was like young or something.
Yeah, he remembers her as a teen, that was his formative years.
I guess so. And then the Al joke is about his mother, which is, I think Al smoked PCP before this scene or something, too. It's just very strange.
He's very out of character right now.
He's like, it's like my mother only having...
Like,
go ahead.
I don't know. He was just, after he says the joke, he's like, what have I just done?
Yeah, it's weird. Really weird, Jordan. But I guess we should.
And that's where we're going to end the episode. So.
Roll credits fade. Sorry, big cough. No. Roll credits fade to black. No. All right. Weird jokes. Bad. Next scene. All right. So in a twist that no one could see coming, Jill surprises Tim by saying that she doesn't want him to do the basic thing. She wants him to go all out. She's scared by the burglar, and she's encouraging Tim to go big and do a Tool Time Remotes show, spare no expense, etc., etc. Tim is turned on by this.
Yeah.
And so was I. No, I'm just kidding.
And your list of ultimate subversions, where does this rank? Because I know you have one of those on the wall.
Yeah, well, it's in an Excel spreadsheet on another computer, but
you've got subversion formulas.
Yeah, definitely. I had to pre-code those, but I know a lot about Excel. Pre-code. I would say that I was not that surprised by this.
Okay, you kind of saw it coming.
So it ranks. I don't know. It depends on how you use low or high when it comes to list. I feel like societally we haven't ever really figured that whole thing out. Like if something ranks low, is it bad or good? And I intend to tackle that this week.
Yeah, this seems like a good time to talk about it.
It was not that surprising, Jordan.
Yeah, I think when the scene starts and she's jumped, you get the idea that they're really trying to play up her fear. So of course she's going to want the biggest and best. So you kind of see it coming towards the end of this, or at the beginning of the scene. And you move on at home later.
But 1 second.
Oh, I don't want to move on too quick.
What do you think about Tim getting turned on by this?
I mean, we know he likes more power.
I don't know, it's just weird.
He's probably excited because now he can just spy on his wife everywhere.
Yeah, why do you think he'd want to do that?
Because he's sexually attracted to her, of course.
That's true.
It's a very romantic thing.
Love is a mini splintered thing, Jordan. Next scene.
At home later, we get more Brad and Jason talk here. Brad asks, how much will it be for the test? They do a little bit of negotiating here, and he ends up coming down and taking $20 because that's all Brad has.
Yeah, I got an inflation calculation for you.
Oh, good. What's it worth?
$32.73.
Whoa!
Which is a lot to pay for a test.
And I don't think Brad has a job. Unless he's still doing that paper route.
Is he still doing the paper route? Get a job, job. Get a job. I'll tell you what, man.
Right.
I've dabbled in some cheating in my life. I'm
not
afraid
Adam, not you.
That. I'm not afraid to admit that I've cheated a handful
I'm calling
of
your
times in my
dad
life.
right now.
Yeah, you think he doesn't know? But I would never spend. I don't think I would ever spend money to cheat on. This is kind of timely, I guess, with the celebrities that got busted. I guess
so. Not by when the episode comes out,
Not when it comes out, but I would never. I wouldn't spend. I don't think I would spend a dime to cheat. Frankly, that's just me, and that's a hard stance I'm willing to take.
You are brave, Adam. You are very brave.
Yeah, that's true.
Brave soul.
So, all right. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Jason reminds Brad to look under the door at midnight, setting up, what we all can see coming is going to happen at the end of this episode, basically. Tool time, the whole crew comes in, and it's time to set up for the scene. This is where you mentioned earlier how Jason is kind of having another conversation with Tim, and he forgets about the saw, because Tim asks about the saw.
He should remember that saw.
It was only like a day ago they had
you
this
put in
conversation.
so much work to memorize all that. You should remember what you memorized. No wonder he needs to cheat. He can't. He doesn't have any kind of
sense.
Good study habits.
Yeah. Tim kicks all of them out. It's time for tool time to begin, and Jason, continues to brown nose his way on the way out. He says, I gotta go home. I record all the episodes or something like that.
Right.
So we get tool time on location. They want to talk about where your vulnerabilities are, and they're setting up all the security stuff here. They invite a reformed burglar, Sammy the Snake,
played by John Capellos, and I recognize this guy. He's gone on to have a pretty nice career. 195 credits to his name. He appeared in The Shape of Water, which was last year's Oscar winner.
Is that the fish one?
Jordan, it's a friggin' fish one. Show just the slightest amount of respect would be nice. I mean, I'm sorry there's no Infinity Gauntlet
I only respect Home Improvement.
Yeah. I'm sorry Captain Marvel doesn't show up and save the day or something.
She could. Right. It's the 90s.
She could. It's the 90s, indeed. Yeah, okay. Plays Picker in Justified. Carl in The Breakfast Club. He's in something called Internal Affairs, which is a Richard Gere movie. Last year he was in Suits. He's in The Crossword Mysteries, A Puzzle to Die For. This guy be working, and Sammy the Snake, he leaves an impression on this episode.
As much as I paid attention in this episode, they could have just used the same guy for the cop and the
I was thinking that
burglar.
too. I was thinking, do we need the cop? That's what I was thinking. Because Sammy the Snake, at least they get some jokes out of that. The cop's whole thing is just like, how am I supposed to write a report?
It sounds like he smoked a few cigarettes between the first time he appeared in this episode.
That sounded like, who's the guy from, you're not going to know his name, but you might. You know the guy from Mrs. Doubtfire that's like Robin Williams' brother?
Yeah.
Mom would be proud. What's that guy's, what's his name? Crap. Whatever. He was in the Grease musical like last year. Whatever.
Was he?
Yeah. I think.
Did you watch that?
No, but I know he was in it. I don't Harvey Firestein.
Firestein, yeah.
Yeah, good Jordan.
Yeah, buddy.
How am I supposed to write a report on that? Oh, you're Mrs. Doubtfire now, are you? All right, that's
It always kind of creeped me out when he was making those faces. I don't know why.
It's scary. It's like Silence of the Lambs level stuff, sort of, yeah. And then Mrs. Doubtfire's face falls off and it gets run over by a car, and then you just look down at the street, it's flattened. It's a little bit haunting. And
you want to know the Home Improvement connection? They offered that role to Tim Allen and he didn't want it.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I can't see that role working with really anybody besides Robin Williams, frankly.
Yeah. Well, it worked, that's for sure. I like that movie.
Yeah, I like that movie too. Tim Allen, how are they going to have Tim Allen dress up as a woman? He doesn't. That is. I'm surprised he would. I mean, I guess I get why he turned it down. He wouldn't want to do that.
There you go.
All
Smart.
Right, well,
everyone wins.
Yeah, I guess. All right, where are we at?
I don't even know.
Where are we at in this episode? Return to it.
Sammy the Snake likes Tim's decor, maybe a little too much, so Tim's a little suspicious here. They start with the front door. Tim feels very confident. He thinks, I've got some pretty heavy-duty locks on this. And they see how secure it is. Sammy gets right in, right away.
I couldn't believe that Sammy's parole officer watches Tool Time.
Seems unlikely.
I know. How does Tim know?
I don't know. Seems like it was a very bold claim, but it worked. It got Sammy to pay attention pretty quick. He straightened up. So they did this thing, where you use a credit card to break into a house. I don't know if that's actually worked ever.
I've used credit cards to get into rooms and houses when the doors were locked. So it does kind of work.
Wow.
And I don't want to give any more information.
Yeah, that's fine. After talking about cheating earlier,
so I don't want to get.
What's the statute of limitations on burglary? That's what I'm wondering.
I know. I am the bad boy of Home Impodcast. So
yeah, we gotta have a balance here. So you're bad and I'm good. So we move on to one of the first of many montages.
Yeah.
Some real jazzy, like, Home Improvement type music that I really wish we would have used for Home Impodcast After Dark.
I mean, everything's negotiable, and we can Season 6 is coming around the corner, so Jordan, we can figure out a way to get this music in there if you want.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we worked
really hard. You're averse to creating any additional work for yourself.
Well, we've only had that Home Improvement or Home Podcast After Dark.
One season.
Yeah, well, no, we've had it for 2 episodes.
Oh, I was talking about for our regular show.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought you'd say.
I don't trust your jingle making abilities to be able to pull that off.
Oh man, you have no idea what I'm capable of. But I think let's circle back. Bowling, the bowling jingle might incorporate this.
All right, there you go.
Nothing says bowling. We just transition to a bowling podcast when this is all done.
Well, the download numbers will probably stay the same.
It'd probably be better, actually. To be honest, more people like bowling than Home Improvement. No offense.
That's for sure.
Carry on, Jordan.
All right.
Your go.
So we're on the montage still. During this montage, Tim and Al are installing various equipment. They finish up with a secret password to the security company, and then Tim shares this on air.
Moron.
He's just a dummy.
You know what's going to alert burglars of your just general, I don't know, what's the word? Vulnerabilities is like all these Home Improvement or all these Tool Time remote episodes he does. Like you're basically just showing people inside your house where you live, how dumb you are. Like, I mean, that's probably why Wilson got burgled.
Because he's near Tim. They meant to get Tim, but they went to the wrong house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's
so should Wilson sue Tim?
Yeah, he should. I think that's how we should end season 5. Lawsuit.
The lawsuit. That's all it's called.
Yeah, right. No, it'd have to be like a topical reference. It'd be like a Forrest Gump quote or something. Life is like a box of lawsuits or something.
Oh, that would be great.
Right.
So they wrap up the episode. The crew leaves.
The crew leaves so fast. It's really funny. I don't know. I noticed this the second time. I know that you didn't watch it 2 times. But
what was that?
I'm sick. I watched it twice. No big deal. But like as soon as the episode is done, like a cameraman and Al just like walk out the door in like 2 seconds. They don't have to get any cords around. They don't have to load anything. Like that's it. It was done.
They do this a couple times on Home Improvement where the crew like either runs in and makes things happen really fast.
Changes,
do you remember that when they did like the man's bathroom or a bathroom remodel or something?
Yeah.
So I guess that fits in.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why don't you talk a little bit about Tim showing Jill how to operate the zones and the buttons?
Sure. Tim, it's a very complicated system. Jill doesn't really understand it, and trouble ensues.
I didn't say do it as fast as possible.
We get another montage. I mean, like, I don't know. This episode had so many different scenes that I kind of just the note taking went a little downhill at the end. It's a complicated system. Jill is trying to do it, and then we get our second montage, which is just of the system like kind of backfiring. Or wait, no, am I skipping something?
There's more sexual moments, I guess you could say. Later, no. Jill is feeling like she finally has the system down pat until she makes a small mistake, and Tim says, "One last thing, I have to frisk you."
Yeah.
She says, "What's the password?"
You saying that Tim's penis is a small mistake?
I was implying it. You said it.
Okay, so they do that. And then Brad, I don't know why the answers have to be slid under the door. Like, that is just, like, this is not Watergate, you know? Like, we don't need to make this so, like, you can get them at school or something. Like, I don't know why he has to deliver them at night under the door. Seems overly complex. But yeah, the alarm goes off, Brad gets busted, but he does manage to hide the answers, so.
I thought, what was interesting is, you have all this panic going on. Jill and Tim are panicking. The noise on the security system is Tim's voice, so.
I don't know if I noticed that.
Yeah, a nice little customization feature, I guess. When you spend that much money, you can put your own voice into stuff.
Narcissist.
I also noticed, so we don't get any Randy in this episode, but we get Mark for about 3 seconds.
Oh man, I didn't even notice. Yeah, you're right, we didn't get any Randy.
Yeah, he comes downstairs and he's got a Detroit Vipers shirt on, which is
I did notice that. Vipers, man, I haven't thought about them in a long time.
Yeah, now defunct, but I went to a Vipers game or two back in the day. Some
Not
hockey.
bragging.
Yeah, sorry. I don't even like hockey and I went, so.
Where did they play at Joe Louis Arena?
It was at the Auburn Hills when I went.
Oh, it was at Auburn Hills. I forgot about that. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Pretty cool logo, I would say.
It's a cool shirt. I'd like to have it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll buy you one for your birthday. It's coming up.
My birthday is 8 days away. By the time this episode comes out, it will have already happened. So.
No, well, it'll be one... Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Hey, Jordan, don't you screw off, okay? All right. All right, we get our second montage. Jill and Tim, and basically everybody kind of screwed up the alarm system. It's a real debacle. I mean, it goes on a long time. Just things aren't working out,
It's a real shame.
Yeah.
People, the weirdest security system thing that they have here is like the people that pop up.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, was there like one that like played like gunshots?
I don't remember the gunshots, but there's just like people who pop up out of the yard that have like guns and stuff in their little paintings, and I'm wondering, what about when you have to mow the lawn?
Yeah, I know. It's a really good question, Jordan. I have no idea what they're going to do.
It's almost like they didn't really think this through.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, so side yard. Jill heads over to talk to Wilson and Jordan. I guess it's time to play a clip.
Oh, good God, how much longer must I endure this madness? Bells and whistles and little men popping up at all hours of the night?
I am so sorry, Wilson. I don't want to upset you. You're the only neighbor who is still speaking to us.
Well, I'm about one siren blast away from going over to the other side.
Well, I'm about ready to join you.
How could you let Kim put in such a ridiculous alarm system?
Well, yeah, it was actually my idea.
Your idea?
Yeah, after you got robbed, I got scared. I started imagining all these horrible things happening to the family. Crazy people lurking behind every door, scaring the kids, taking all our stuff.
And you thought that by putting in a state-of-the-art alarm system that you would no longer be afraid?
Well, yeah, but now all I'm afraid of is setting off this insane system.
Well, Jill, I wouldn't worry about it. As the physicist Edward Teller told me over borscht at the Russian tea room, total security has never been available to anyone. To expect it is unrealistic. To imagine that it can exist is an invite to disaster.
Well, this week would qualify as a complete disaster. I just wish that we could scale this whole thing back, but I can't ask him to do that after he's put all this effort into it.
Well, why don't you present him with a petition signed by all his neighbors who are sleep-deprived?
Wilson, you know nobody in this neighborhood ever signs anything.
Well, Jill, there's always a first time.
All right. I think I've got the inside sensors figured out. And hey, Wilson.
Hey.
What do you got there?
This is a petition from all the neighbors angry about your security system.
Joe Paduro, the guy lives like 4 blocks away.
Well, I think he's still angry about being hit by the spaghetti.
Tim, we gotta talk about scaling this thing back.
You know, this is partly your idea. I'll get it figured out as soon as I can get these outside motion detectors.
Wilson is he's peeved about the alarm system, and Jordan, it turns out the whole neighborhood is. There's a petition that a la like the naughty nice list from the Santa Claus. They look the same. It was on like parchment paper, which is weird for a neighborhood petition, I thought.
Well, when you roll up any paper like that, it's got to be parchment.
Jordan, this isn't our 420 episode. Don't talk about rolling up paper, okay? All right. Did you notice that? I don't know. There's a reference to this guy. I think his name is Joe Paderno, but it sounds like Joe Paterno. I don't know. That really got. I was like, Joe Paterno lives in Royal Oak.
Oh boy.
Disgraced, deceased as well, Coach. I guess it probably wasn't him, but
no, I don't think so.
All right. So I guess it's kind of just decided at that moment that, and you know what? Tim's actually pretty smart because this is just more episodes of Tool Time because they go back to Tool Time Remote and they're going to do a smaller, more scaled down security system. There's only one camera, and that is on the front stoop. And it happens to be Brad and Jason. Brad has had he's, I don't know, his conscience got the best of him.
Man, he's a different person.
He's changed. He doesn't want to cheat. It's wrong.
Do you think Angela changed him?
You find the right woman to do wonders for you.
It'll do wonders for you.
Yeah, maybe. But he's not going to do it. he and Jason kind of bicker about it. The camera's on him. Apparently, I don't know if this is going to be on TV or not, but there's audio as well. Tim busts him, and he's going to send the tape to Jason's parents. Jason says, I'm an orphan.
Bold move, Jason.
Jason, yeah, there's no way to double check on that. Roll credits, Fade to Black, Alarmed by Burglars. Jordan, were you alarmed by this episode, or did you like it?
Sound the alarm. I didn't like the episode.
Okay.
A nickel for your thoughts is what we're going to do now. I would say, I don't know. It's just not that interesting to me. I don't know. I like the idea of having Tim install this sweet security system and look at all the things that he does. Yeah. But kind of the things that they install are pretty underwhelming. Like the thing that falls down from the door is it looks like it was rolled down like that parchment paper, so I guess you could just roll it right back up. And like the paper people that pop up out of talk about alliteration, out of the yard, not very threatening as well. So I think they could have done more as far as like have some cool stuff with the security system. The plot with Jason and Brad, I don't necessarily. I mean, like I like to have Jason back.
Yeah.
He's entertaining and whatnot. I don't know if I believe that Brad would be such a goody-goody, though. So,
no, also, like, that was kind of unearned. Like, all of a sudden, Brad's just, like, not into it. Why?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The episode maybe suffered from no Randy, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Although, people were Randy in the episode. That's clear.
Oh, man. A little too Randy for my taste.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I guess for this season, maybe for some other seasons it would have been fine. Maybe a little bit below average for this season, so.
Yeah.
What do you think, Adam?
I didn't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I just, like, I guess, I don't know why I didn't like it. I just didn't like it, and I'm going to leave it at that. No, like, it's not funny. The jokes are pretty lame, what jokes they try to have. I agree with you. Jason is a good character to have back, but just the plot with him and Brad was just kind of like, well, it sort of felt like, well, we've done enough with the security system. Let's cut to something else. And like the whole, like them getting busted, like, that's coming. Saw that coming a mile away, which maybe is not the point, but like, I don't know, not a lot of tension there. And Brad's sort of crisis of faith, what have you, is a little unearned. Yeah, I don't know. Just the jokes are kind of bad. If we're comparing like a security system to like, a man's bathroom or man's kitchen or whatever, like. It wasn't really like Tim Taylorized in a way that's that interesting. Everything was just sort of lame. So
I like the idea for the episode, I guess. Just didn't seem to pan out, really.
It seems like they didn't put enough time into like the props and the design of the stuff. Because like, I mean, like, I don't know, like have like Al pop out, like have like an Al pop out, or like Al's like do something funny with it. Instead, it was just like, oh, alarms are going off because we can't figure this out. Isn't that funny? And it's not. And hey, Jordan, spoiler alert, hot take, it's not.
It's been a long time since you said spoiler alert, hot take, all in one little thing. So
not long enough.
All right, well, episode 125, Jason took the Taylors, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on to Sean's social media corner. If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomeimpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter at Home Impodcast. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/Home Impodcast. And you'll get special bonus episodes every single month, including... What did we do last month?
Last month, we did Soul Man. This month, you refuse to commit to anything.
This month, it's a mystery. Yeah. So, but we'll be recording that in a couple of days, so I guess I better figure something out.
Why don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Again, patreon.com/Home Impodcast for as little as $1 a month. I mean, come on. Also, if you'd like to support the show and you don't have $1 a month, go to your podcasting app, rate and review us, give us 5 stars, let us know how much you love us. We will read that on the air.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. Adam, I know that you didn't necessarily do the polls, but I was just wondering what was going on Twitter since I did the polls.
I think Tim Allen did the polls based on all these hashtags. All right, first poll. Do you like #Shakespeare? 13 total votes. A little lower than when I do it, but we won't take it personally.
Oh, of course.
23% said no. 31% said I pretend so I seem smart. 46% said yes.
All right.
That's good.
Sounds like the presidential election.
How so?
Less than 50%.
Okay. All right. 17 total votes for this next one. What's your favorite work by Shakespeare? 6% said Hamlet. 12% said other. Tweet at us. I'm going to have to check on that in a minute. 35% said Macbeth. 47% said Romeo and Juliet. Did anybody tweet at us? They did. Oh, your mom saw Othello at Stratford in the round in Ontario. It was great.
Humble brag.
Seriously, jeez.
She's downstairs, so I'm going to have to go talk to her about
Friggin' privilege much? At Dr. Headley said he likes any Shakespeare performed by Wilson.
I think we all
poll.
do.
This is a night of too many polls. Have you watched Pen 15 on Hulu starring Richard Karn? 21 total votes. Wow.
Whoa!
5% said that's too personal. 33% said yes. 62% said no. You guys, we gotta support the Karn man. Get Hulu.
That's too personal.
It's too stupid.
Hey, you laughed.
I laughed. Other than that, Jet Jurgensmeyer liked the tweet that I sent to him a while back. We never talked about that. I don't know if I should feel bad or not. You know, I was kind of like,
Adam? You talked about before this episode. You were being more earnest. Were you being earnest there?
So I was using the Home Podcast account, and I was on Jet Jurgensmeyer. Who does he play on Last Man Standing? What's that kid's name?
I don't know. The little boy.
Little boy who was recast. And Jet Jurgensmeyer is apparently a musician, and I listened to one of his songs, and I tweeted that it was a banger, and then he liked it like 45 minutes later.
Oh, man.
I don't know if I probably wasn't being earnest, if I'm being honest, but...
Well, man, we all come clean now.
He doesn't know the difference. Other than that, Great Lakes Loons are preparing to design a shirt for their home improvement night, and they got some pretty cool options. I retweeted it, so they're doing like a poll on Instagram. But one of them is like Wilson, a loon dressed as Wilson behind a fence, and the other one is like a Binford Tools thing. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, the graphic designer working hard.
Amen to that. Otherwise, yeah, follow us for the fun.
I should say, Adam, we have 36 reviews now.
We do.
We do. Yeah, not another one just, 5 stars or whatever.
You know what? It all spends the same.
5 stars.
Just, man, we are getting so many reviews, and it's just so nice for me.
It's humbling for me.
Let's wrap this one up, buddy.
All right. That leads us to...
real tired.
You need a nap after being burgled. Question of the week, Adam. Lay it on me.
You just said burgled, and that's what my question's about. Jordan, has any of the houses you've ever lived in any of the houses you've ever lived in? Good God, what's the question I'm trying to say? Have you ever been burgled, Jordan? Stolen anything?
Well, my parents had a security system growing up, which was not very effective because I don't think they ever set it because we were going in and out all the time.
Yeah.
So that, I do not remember anything happening when we were younger. I know my parents have had their car stolen a couple times, but that wasn't at our house.
A couple of times?
Yeah, a couple of times. I've never had that happen. It's happened a couple of times. Down here, I had someone steal my bike out of the garage.
Oh, man, I remember that. Yeah, you knew who it was, too.
Knew who it was. I saw him the other day.
Wow. Yeah. You never confronted him, though?
No, he got in trouble. So
he did? Oh, nice.
Nice. Hey, actions have consequences. So yeah, that was it. Just my bike, and I haven't replaced it yet, but I will soon. So
cool.
Adam?
Yeah.
I can't ask the first question that you asked because I don't remember. It was very convoluted. But have you been burgled?
That was. I had some stuff stolen from a locker at the rec center in college.
No!
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about that. I guess my parents' house got burgled before I was born, which is a little surprising because it was way out in the country.
They weren't afraid of those horses?
You always want to think they'd be afraid of the horses, but they weren't.
I thought you paid them to protect the house, but they don't.
How long you want to make this episode? Keep telling jokes like that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they... Yeah, my dad suspected it was some driver's ed students that he had because he had mentioned to him that he was leaving for the weekend, and he thinks that they robbed us. But I don't know if they took anything important or not. But so, in short, yes and no on that one.
Sounds like no. Sounds like no, kind of. Well, I guess you were talking about that locker.
Yeah, that's why I said yes and no.
What they take from you? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, my laptop.
No.
Yeah, it sucked. It
That's
was
a
really
bummer.
crappy. Yeah, it was really brutal. And my car keys were in there, and my wallet, and yeah, not great.
People
if
stink.
If the person out there that did that is listening, go ahead and unsubscribe. Okay, I don't want you as a listener.
Don't even think about donating to our Patreon.
Don't even try because you've already done damage. Jordan, next week is the end of season 5, I think.
I think you're right, but I could be wrong. But here's the thing, Adam.
Yeah.
It's games, flames, and automobiles.
Wow, and with that will come our season and summation conversation, so a little bit longer of an episode. Can you believe it? 5 seasons, man.
Wow. It's kind of wild.
Feels like 20.
Yeah, good thing we're going to keep going forever.
Yep. Well, on that uplifting note, Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. And I guess I should say, take care, everybody.
Take care.